Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Since we're getting so close to Halloween, one of my absolute favorite holidays of the year, it's time to do our spooky Halloween fragrances. So I have a selection of probably 8 to 10. I didn't really count, but they're my spookiest, Halloweeniest fragrances that I'm sharing with you guys. And it's mostly women, some unisex, some masculine leaning. So anyway, boys and girls, everybody stay tuned. And just to prove to you guys that I really am in the Halloween spirit, here's my special Halloween mug. I literally did just pour booze in here. Get it? Booze. I'm in the spirit of Halloween. No pun intended, but really intended. Anyway, enough of me being dad jokes central, and let's get into the actual fragrances. So in no particular order, a recent discovery that has blown me away is from LANCOME, and this is MAGIE Noire. Obviously, with a name like MAGIE Noire, aka Black Magic, it has to be in the Halloween specials category, and there is so little about this fragrance, but it is stunning, you guys. Especially if you're a chypre lover, this is oak moss to the max. It's so good. It's elegant, it's luxurious and sexy. It's very like old-timey classic. It really does have that old-timey vintage vibe. It's a little peppery, it's a little bit herbaceous, but it also has some sweetness. There's honey in here, there's a little bit of sweetness. And the imagery that comes to mind is really Cruella de Vil in that fur coat, like luxurious and rude and vicious, but so fabulous. This is a great evening scent. This is very like unapproachable, but so elegant and classy. Very intimidating. I think it might be getting discontinued because I actually bought this directly from the Lancome website, and it was $57 Canadian for this, and that is why I bought it. Let me just tell you, it was fully a blind buy, but I am hecking loving this, and it smells familiar. This must have been popular in the Soviet Union in the 80s and 90s. My Soviet Union fellows, please let me know if you know about this, and whether it was or wasn't popular at the time in Eastern Europe. Next, we have Sorcery from OPIUM, and I've talked about this a few times. My sweater is falling off. So I've talked about this fragrance a few times. This is OPIUM's own fragrance. This is their own composition. They do tend to do dupe fragrances, which one is coming up, but this one is their own, and it's a salty rose ambergris, tropical flowers. It smells like there might be a little bit of musk in here as well. This is what I always refer to as a murdery rose. This is a conniving, murdery rose that lures you in, seduces you with its sweetness, and then that saltiness kicks in, like, and it's a killer. And it's so sexy. It's a little vampy. Like, this fragrance is perfect for Halloween, and with a name like Sorcery, like, come on. You guys have to check this out. If you're rose lovers, this is a really interesting, salty take on a rose, and I'm loving it. Okay, the next one from OPIUM is called Nervio, and this is a dupe of Mortal Skin. I am largely going by names. Some of these names are really metal, like Mortal Skin. That's intense, guys. Anyway, Nervio 2 is a pretty intense name, and this one is like, I smell blackberry in here, but there's a blend of different notes, and it really smells inky. It's a really interesting blend. It does make me think of snakes, and also it makes me think of like if I had to put a character to this, it would be Ursula from The Little Mermaid. Like that inky, dark, very intense kind of it's not salty or aquatic, by the way. It's just that inkiness and that darkness makes me think of a character like Ursula. It's a little leathery, it's very dark and very intense, but I do love it. There's something about this that's intoxicating, makes me want to keep smelling it, and it's perfect for Halloween. So Nervio, or if you want to go for Mortal Skin, which is very expensive, I believe it's Stephanie Humbert Lucas 777. I am probably not remembering that correctly. It's listed below. If you guys do want to check out OPIUM's Sorcery or Nervio or any of their other fragrances, I do have a promo code and it's Yana15. It'll get you 15% off your order. I'm going to link it down below for you as well. So moving on, we have Bottega Veneta, and this is Eau de Velours. This one, I love it. I've loved it since the moment I smelled it. This is not for everybody. This is leather, plum, rose, oak moss. This is very, very like unusual. It's a very feminine leather fragrance and it is bomb. It is so good. This is very sexy and seductive and it's a powerful fragrance. It takes control. It's not for the faint-hearted. So ladies that want to check out a leather fragrance, Bottega Veneta Eau de Velours, it is amazing. Like, this fragrance would probably suit my current look right now. Like, if I had to choose a scent of the day to go with the outfit of the day and the makeup of the day, it would be this. And I love to wear this to work in the fall and winter. It just makes me feel like a boss bitch. Another one for rose lovers is Lady Vengeance from Juliette Has a Gun. This one is a beautiful rose patchouli with musk. I'm wearing it right now. It's a dry rose. It's very elegant. It reminds me of fragrances like Eau de Velours and honestly, even a little bit like fragrances along the lines of Midnight Poison, except that this is not as soft. This is much more intense, much more in your face, kind of like badass. And with a name like Lady Vengeance, you know, it's intense. This fragrance is very rose-centric, so if you don't like rose and you don't like patchouli, those two notes are in the forefront. So if you are a rose and patchouli fan, please check this out. If you like a drier rose, like in Rose Prick, this is, I'm not saying they're similar at all, but this is that drier rose that's in here, and I'm actually wearing it right now and I love it. And the bottle, I love that bottle, that black bottle with red writing. It's killer. The next fragrance is Serge Lutens 5 o'clock au gingembre. This one I would say is more masculine leaning and it doesn't smell like sweet gingerbread, which I originally thought when I purchased this, it would be more like a sweet gingerbread fragrance. It's not cheerful and sweet as the name might suggest. It's not playful. This fragrance makes me think of rain. It makes me think of a dark, spooky day. Like if you wear this fragrance, you're like a shadow in the darkness. It's pretty cool. I do like it, but I tend to reach for it when it's raining out. So it's very appropriate for Halloween. The next one is Bulgari Black. Unisex as well, but I would say definitely more masculine leaning. It's a leather fragrance. It has tea in here as well. And there is something that comes off a little bit rubbery. This fragrance makes me think of Professor Snape. It's a little bit smoky, it's mysterious, it's like a smoky, mysterious tea scent with leather. That's what this is really. And yeah, there's a lot of character references here, and that's because it's a spooky Halloween, and that's where my mind goes, so bear with me. And what else do we have here sprawled on my bed? Oh, I'm gonna take this opportunity to show off a little goodie that I recently acquired because this is also great for Halloween. I got myself dun, 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 a vintage bottle of OPIUM Parfum. This is super vintage, super vintage. It's good. I don't know that I would often wear this. This is very appropriate for Halloween as well. It's spicy. It's really spicy. I have to be careful because I did spill a teeny tiny bit on my counter the first time when I opened it like this. So because it's so old, the top notes have faded, but when I wear this on the skin, the spiciness and the soapiness comes out, and it's really interesting. I'll be 100% honest, you guys, and I'll share a secret. I actually have never smelled opium before this, at least not intentionally. I must have smelled it on other people because this does smell familiar, but I thought, what an abomination for me to be a fragrance reviewer and never have smelled opium, the classic of all classics, right? So anyway, I got it. So now I've caught up. I know what it smells like. I know it is a point of reference. And I feel like it's important for people to smell this to just know the history. This one makes me think of the woman in red from Game of Thrones. That's what this one smells like to me, like spicy, intense, soapy, somehow alluring, intoxicating, a little bit witchy and dangerous. That's this one. And I don't know how the current day formulation compares. So you guys that have smelled both, please let me know. Moving on, let's talk about Black Orchid. Black Orchid is as Halloween as it gets. I'm laughing because I'm looking at my notes here because I wrote that this just smells like evil. It's intense, dark, and offensive. Like, it does. It really does smell evil. This is not a fragrance that I wear, not a fragrance that I would own, but for the purposes of Halloween, this is right on. I really don't want to spray it. I'm going to smell it out of here. Something in the beginning is interesting to me, and it's alluring. As it develops, I feel like this fragrance would be very appropriate to wear to a Halloween party where maybe you don't like many people and you're wearing a mask, like maybe a Grim Reaper mask or the Scream mask. Like, really, this fragrance is the scent of death if death had a smell. Like, this is goth as goth gets. So Black Orchid, you guys, if you're into that, please check it out if that sounds appealing to you. The next fragrance I don't have a full bottle of, but it's a scent I'm very familiar with, and it's Dior Poison. This is a beautiful, dark, captivating, rich, slightly obnoxious, in-your-face kind of fragrance, but stunning. It's mostly tuberose. There's a little bit of a smoky plum there. It is the forbidden fruit fragrance. It's very intoxicating, and it really does smell like poison, and perfect again for Halloween. Next is FRANCK BOCLET Sugar. This fragrance is not as sweet as it sounds. It is super, super sweet, don't get me wrong, but it's not all about sugar. This fragrance has marshmallow. It definitely has honey. The honey is very strong in here. Vanilla, caramel, but it has cassis as well. It has raspberry, violet. The way that these notes combine, it smells very luxurious, very vampy and metal. Like, as the bottle looks, it has this sort of edge to it. It has this sort of sharpness, this sort of burnt scent. It's very cool. Very, very cool. Super sexy and luxurious. It smells super rich. It smells like an array of dessert at a lavish party. This is super, super lavish. So if you're going somewhere, you're dressing up, you want to just stand out, this fragrance it's really something else. I don't hear it talked about a lot. It's really underrated, I would say, but really, really interesting. So if you guys have a chance to try this, please do. The next one I have a decant of, and I will have to spray this one because I don't think I could smell it out of here. This one is from Cartier, and this is Le Baiser du Dragon. With a name like that, Kiss of the Dragon, come on, of course it's making the Halloween list. This fragrance is, to me, it smells quite vetiver heavy, but it's also very almond centric. It's not super sweet. It's almond, like it makes me think of cyanide. It's woody, almondy, vetiver to me are the main notes. A little bit powdery. It's not a fragrance I reach for. I'm glad I got a decant of it. The bottle is super Halloween. Like, that bottle is dangerous, and the scent is very interesting. I didn't like it at first sniff. It was not what I expected it to be, but it's interesting and it's growing on me, and I am gonna give it more of a chance the closer we get to Halloween. The other note that really stands out to me in here is like a chocolate note, but it's more of like a bitter cacao, like an unsweetened cacao. That's what I smell in here. Vetiver is very, very strong in here. If you're a vetiver lover, definitely check this out. It is one that is a little bit challenging for me, but nonetheless super Halloween appropriate. So these are my top picks for Halloween fragrances. Please let me know what fragrance you guys are going to be wearing on Halloween. Let me know what your costume is, and what other fragrances do you think would be amazing for Halloween that I haven't mentioned. Please comment down below. If you guys want to help support my channel, I did launch a Buy Me a Coffee, which is brand new to me, and I didn't know that even existed, but it's linked down below for you guys as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a spooky Halloween!